Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again with Assetto Corsa Competizione, round 5 of our 7th season, and we are back in Italy. After Monza, we now head towards Misano with a very rainy racetrack with 25 drivers and with 2 commentators, myself and John alongside me. Hello.
Hi, yeah, we're back in Italy after that crazy 2-race weekend last week, week. That was a ridiculous amount of action last week. I'm really excited for this week. Right now we have a rainy qualifying, like you said. We have about 3 minutes left. Van Hutting, Brabner at the top with Wachowski, Ansel, Olive, and Chumley following up behind them. In silver class, right now we have Noppin leading silver with Kessel about 2/10 a bit slower on his qualifying lap. It's initially the practice session was completely dry, and then we got to qualifying and it was downpouring like you see right now, and it took about about 10 minutes for them to get into the groove, and we're still seeing people slide off the track. So we don't know what the race is going to be like, if it's going to stay rainy or if it's going to dry up, but it should be a interesting course of events.
Yeah, certainly, and this might just absolutely shift the balance in power here, as before the rain set in qualifying, I was told by basically everyone that this track is an OP Bentley track. So the Bentleys were expected to kind of dominate that, and now it's raining, and we've got Ferraris 1, 2, and 3 as Chris Witkowski and Samuel Chumley put themselves onto the front row. Then it's Ruben, and then only the first Bentley with George. The Bentleys apparently not dealing too well with the conditions yet. Everyone's got around a lap to go in this qualifying session, and we shall see what that will bring us in terms of lap time.
Yeah, and this race, we have Wachowski right now on the front of the grid. If that stays the way it is, and Brabner P4, if Wachowski could keep that gap, that can mean a lot for Wachowski in the driver's standing of the championship, because right now they got a 40-point gap that if Wachowski wants to try and get the championship, he's going to have to close that gap. And this could mean a lot for him if he can get a really, really good turnout for this race.
Yeah, and this is really important since basically he is now the closest rival of George, as Janne Salminen has unfortunately plummeted down the order in the standings after promising first 2 rounds. He of course got that qualifying he of course had that crash in Paul Ricard. He didn't attend Monza. He did get a qualifying ban, as I was saying, for Paul Ricard flipping Antoine in that very funny clip, and that means he has to serve that one right now, which is why he's still standing in the pits without a lap time. It's going to start from P23 likely, and he has some work to do, especially in the rain. It's going to be tough to overtake, but the attendance today about like 5 or 10 drivers less than usually, so I guess he's got a good starting point for starting last. Could be worse, could be like P33 instead of 23.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a normal race week, so
yes,
just one 60-minute race, which we're going to see. We'll see if the rain holds out or if it dries up. If it holds out and we have a 60-minute race, it's going to be interesting to see, where the action comes from in there.
Certainly, and now Philip Ansel ends his qualifying session in a brilliant P4, just about ahead of Ruben van den Hutting, who now pulls into the pits. So those 2 Ferraris are going to be very close together on the timing sheets, but Ansel comes out on top in that. The top 3 are still going. Now Chris finishes his last lap. It's a 39.6. Of course, we don't really have a reference what's quick, but it is atop the timing table, so that gives us some indication. Chumley probably going to try and beat that, but it does not look good as of now. He's down 3/10 on his lap time. Must have made a little bit of a mistake there. And George is still going. George is actually finding the time here. Maybe he can still pull it off in his Bentley. We're going to go on board for the final sector of Misano, as he just balances that car around and into the final corner. He slowly feeds into the power. It's going to come across the line, and I don't think it's going to be enough, but maybe it's the front row still. Probably is the front row. Across comes George, and it's P2. Chumley not going to be able to do anything about that. He comes around the final corner and just decides to practice the pit entry instead.
This is going to be a very, very cool first turn and first lap. We're going to see if anybody follows Formula One, which I'm sure a good amount of you guys do. You know, yesterday we had the U.S. Grand Prix with Verstappen and Hamilton on the front row of the grid. Today we have a very similar situation with Kowski and Brabner, both in contention for the championship lead at the front of the grid. It's going to be very tense coming up on the first lap after the outlap. It's going to be, very interesting how they attack that. If they attack it with everything they've got, if they go for every gap, or if they're going to be careful. It looks like at least the start of the race is going to be, it's dry. It looks overcast.
It is damp, and we're going to go for a bit of a quick grid walk. So, Chris Rutkowski once again takes pole ahead of George Brabner. He did say in practice that it is unfortunate to beat George. You have to be faster than him because George doesn't make any dumb mistakes usually, and that he's set himself up well for that because he was faster in that qualifying session. Now it just has to hold up in the damp conditions. Then behind Rutkowski and George, it is Chumley in P3 getting a really good qualifying result for himself in that Ferrari, leading a pack of Ferraris. Philip Ansel putting himself on in P4. Then Ruben van den Hudding in P5 and of Olive. Then silver class leading is Ryan Noppin in his Bentley, absolutely going all out here. Found some massive pace. Qualifies Jasper Smelt, who is 8th out of his teammate Bas Kessel, who is 2nd in silver class and 9th overall in the Lexus in P9. Then Viktor Czerwinski is 10th in the 57 Ferrari. Then Olli Stricker out of Dominic Illigner. Then Marvin Betch in, oh my god, what have you done? Holy cow, what a beautiful livery. Niels Krüger, the third German in a row. Then Jonut Abuzila in the Bentley. Michal Ranoja in the Ukrainian Lambo, as we started calling it, in 16th. Federico Varagnolo on his home soil in 17th. Hubert Gijura in P18. I'm gonna get a voice memo about his first name this time, right? Nico Veltman is P19. Andrew Moulton in the other Ukrainian Lambo in P20. Then it's Ben Loos for silver class out of Jacob Lawton. Davy Bremen returns after quite a long time out of Janne Salmonen with a qualifying ban, and Jurien Visser, who is allergic to qualifying. So that's it. Okay. Yeah. That's the usual grid walk length if we don't have a ridiculous amount of drivers. So there we go.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting. I always say that. I feel like I always say that, but you know, every race always brings something interesting to the table. This track is a lot of curb eating you see here. Depending on the car that you have, we looking at qualifying and practice sessions, these cars just eat up these curbs. They just roll over it, depending on the car, like it's nothing. It's pretty interesting how much they can get away with.
Yep, absolutely munching some of those curbs, and it should be interesting, especially because it's damp conditions. As far as I'm aware, that just means it's dry tires, but they are gonna be super cool. Like, in the HUD, they will probably just be dark blue, or, just absolutely blue. No temps going into those tires at all, and just as the weather progresses throughout this race, we're gonna see some temperature going into those tires, and it's gonna be interesting in terms of strategy. If people think it's gonna get worse. Now we went from damp to greasy. I guess greasy is more dry than damp, right? I guess it should be.
I have no idea.
I don't even know the words either, so.
I think there's someone out there with a watering hose just pouring oil on the track. That's probably what's going on.
Oh, my man Dominic is not able to I don't know, put the right amount of fuel in or something. He's in the pit lane, so he's gonna have to start his first race with a direct drive wheelbase from last. That's why he wasn't there for quite a while. Now he is back. I can finally do enduros with him without his wheel dying. It's great.
What a nice upgrade. I'm sure that feels awesome, as you know, if he wasn't in the pits right now.
Yeah. It is the budget direct drive from Fanatec though. So it's not the 1.6K wheelbase.
Oh, the CSL DD?
Yes.
I've heard awesome things about it though. I'm considering getting it once, you know, the money is there.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm still sitting on my CSL Elite, and I'm probably gonna run with that until it dies. Unfortunately, when they die properly. And that's what I was referring to. Like, Iligna and I would do enduros, and his wheelbase would just cut out, and we died like 2 or 3 times because of that. Sebring 12 hours, for example, it was great.
I've never had mine just cut out like that. That's weird.
I haven't
How long have you had
either.
it?
I haven't either. He has had it for like 3 years or something, or 2.
Okay. I think I've had mine coming on like maybe 2.5.
Yeah. Anyways, we've got the drivers coming out the final turns. I mean, that's what Formation Lab's for, you know, having a nice chat while everyone's anxiously waiting for the start of the race for the green flag to send them all on their 1-hour journey here around Misano. The track is greasy, the tires are going to be stone cold, and Chris Witkowski will have the inside line, and he needs to make sure that George Bradner, his main championship rival, will not be able to hold his own on the outside line to cut back to the inside for turn 2. That is what Chris has to do. Can he pull it off? We're waiting for the green flags. And we go green in Misano, and it looks like a really good start from Chris, but George is not out of it yet. Maybe he can make this work on the brakes. Ansel goes pretty deep and is going to lose a position to Van den Herding in all likelihood, as George almost gets bonked by Sam there. Really deep running from Chris as well, so they are now right alongside each other going into turn 4 there, but I think the inside line is just going to benefit Chris enough as George gets hung out to try off the track as well, so Sam slips through. It's P3 for George now, and Ruben is now lurking. He has passed Ansel. Oh no, George is spinning! Oh, Ruben! Ruben's into the wall! Man! I don't know if...
We're going to need to see how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know if the FIA can do anything about that. I think that was just unlucky, probably. Now Ansel is on the attack with George, and we're gonna have a quick replay from... Oh, well, a terrible replay. I'm too late. God damn it. We have to wait. We have to wait it out. That is unfortunate. We're getting the images from the back of the grid as we wait for the live feed to catch up.
That was Van den Herding.
I hate this replay function. Okay, so we're back to live, and Sam is right up the rear of Chris. So, but apart from that, I think everyone's gone through safely. WoW is already like half a lap down on everyone. WoW is Iligna for context. Someone's around the 29. I think that's Nico. It is indeed. He has lost some time, and he is running together with Alexis. That is now diving into the pit lane. Probably Bremen. Or Bremen, I think it's called, but I'm not Dutch, so I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, I was looking at these turn names, and I didn't want to embarrass myself.
All
of them very Italian.
I think one is called Quecha, which is like oak, but I don't know what quarter that is. That's all I know. And I've clowned myself by saying that often enough. The 13 might be around there in the first sector. It's Lawton. Yeah, he gets passed by Veldman, so something went wrong there. Oh, what's that? Jajura! Jajura having a little bit of an off-track moment.
And Kruger and Busilla right now, side by side, trading places, going in to, I don't know what turn, but still very close.
Yup, and the Bentley's tucked into the slipstream. It is really difficult on this because it is like kind of a straight, but it also has two kinks in it, and then the braking zone is very... Oh, it's very
he's sending
treacherous.
it.
Absolute send. Can he catch it? He certainly goes off track, and I think the Lexus is just going to reclaim the position. Buzila not letting this go easily, carries the speed and actually gets the position. Nicely done.
Very impressive, yeah. It's easy to go too deep and then, you know, undo what you just accomplished, but he was able to keep it, which is awesome.
Yeah, Krüger and he are holding this side by side as well. Behind him it's Betsch now, maybe going on to the attack against Strecker. No, but Ruben hangs it around the outside. Brilliant move from Ruben after being put into the wall this violently on lap 1. He just makes up one position. Very nicely done. See up the order, what's going on? So Chris is just gonna have to hope that he's gonna be able to get enough of a gap and that Sam will be able to hold up George for quite some time here at the start. Lawton off once again in the back. And there's a gap forming between Brabner and Ansel, so I think this will be a 3-horse race at the front. It's just, what can Sam do? He's the one uninvolved in this championship fight as of now. And the other two have more to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming in at 5 minutes into this race, you know, I think they're starting to settle into their positions and think about strategy. We don't see too much messing around right now. There's comfortable gaps in the front. And so I think, you know, for a good amount of this race, it's going to be these guys fighting it out, slowly pulling away probably from the rest of the pack. Like we already see them have a 2.2 second gap between P3 and P4, whereas these guys are within a second of each other.
Ruben trying to slice his way through the field and did give Ollie a little bit of a shove there, but didn't unsettle the car too much. Now he's having a look into the final corner. He's not going to get that one done. Sets himself up for a late apex, accelerates out of the final corner, well tucked into the slipstream. The Ferrari versus the Bentley. How many positions can Ruben make up after this terrible start? None in this corner at least. Also Salmon is up to 15, but he's under threat from the Lexus. What's going on?
Ruben and Ali Stricker side by side right now. Ruben is a little bit of contact going into the straight, and Ruben got it done.
Yep. P10
I think it was very harmless contact. Nothing really happened with that. But yeah, that was a pretty good overtake, and he's pulling away pretty quick too. So you can see he's I think he was being held up by that Bentley. So, you know, it's good that he's able to finally kind of let loose.
I'm wondering what can Salmonen do. He's got loads of catching up to do here. You can see he's driving a wider line into the corner so he can get a better exit. Just that Ben Loos probably does have a slipstream of his own from Betsch, which doesn't make this easy on Janne.
Yeah, Salmonen starting Pete. He started at the back, right?
23rd.
Yeah, he's been able to pick it all the way up to P15, which is pretty incredible for only, you know, 6-7 minutes of the race. Even though he has the pace, you know, catching up to someone or being faster than someone is very different than overtaking them. So props to him for climbing up so quickly.
Absolutely. And up front with the top 3, they are still all covered by a second. It doesn't seem like there's anyone clearly fastest in this group. Maybe it's George, but he's being held back by Chumley. We don't know. In that case, Chum has to do all of the work for Chris.
Yeah, George is kind of sniffing Chumley's butt right now too, so hopefully we'll see. Hopefully we'll get some action there and some proper action.
Incredibly romantic words that perfectly describe what's going on here. As
he's touching, not touching. Sorry, he's looking for a spot.
Easy getting him. He's gone really deep into that corner for the better exit, and it looks like he might just have gotten that. Tucked into the slipstream now. Is he going to get the room on the inside? It doesn't look like it. He slightly had to let off the throttle because otherwise there might have been a collision. So Sam really driving a very wide car, and this is giving Chris some breathing room up front in P1.
Yeah, from Chris's point of view, he's right on him. I'm sure this does not feel comfortable for Chris. Chris is, or I'm sorry, Sam. Chris, I keep saying Chris. Sam trying to catch the lead, but at the same time has to defend against George Brabner. That is a place I would not want to be in. But
never.
Seems to be doing it pretty well right now. But George is not backing off at all. He's on the prowl, on the hunt, and it looks like Sam might be holding George up a bit because he is starting to pull away from Witkowski.
Yep. Witkowski certainly having to give it his all right now in this first stint, as the track is getting drier and drier. The track state now is classified as fast by the game. Is that a little bit of a deep run by Sam? I mean, the defense of Sam could crack any second. George really does seem to have the pace, and I am worried for Chris. He will be able to hold this because Sam is doing his absolutely best. I don't think he's going to hold this up for long enough. Now another attempt on the back straight by George Brabner. This time he picks the outside landing, was squeezed on the inside last time. Maybe he can find his luck this way. Maybe he can force Sam deep into the corner as we go through another kink here into the sharp left-hander. No, right-hander. No space found there.
Yeah, when you have the person behind you, going for a gap almost every corner, that kind of indicates that you might want to pick up the pace a little bit. As we see, I wish we could see the lap times. I'm wondering if
but
you
it's
can.
a broadcasting climb.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean the lap times right now, the top. Well, Chris has gained a second on Sam, and then 7/10 on George. So this fight is certainly now losing them time overall, which is to be expected. So that scrap further down the order with Buzler, Stricker, Betch, and Salmon still well going on. And I think this is where George always has the best shot. So he shows himself on the inside, then he drives a little bit deeper into that corner, tries to really get the swing, shows himself on the outside, probably going to break late into it again, and then he tries to cut back tight to the inside to get the perfect exit and set himself up well for the straight. That's probably not the fastest way to do it, but it is a way to achieve really high straight line speed, and that is exactly what he's trying to do now to get that overtake done. It is no, he's not getting past.
We see Sam. He might be a little bit slower pace-wise than George, but he does still have every single right to defend his position, to try and keep P2 away from George. That is still, he doesn't get blue flagged, nothing like that. It's still racing, even if someone might have a slightly faster pace. So very good defending from Sam in this instance as well.
Yeah, the Ferrari helping out the Ferrari here. If he wasn't, that would obviously be bad for his race as well. Like, he would just lose a position that is a potential position that could be there at the end of the race still. So, he's giving up nothing for no reason if he lets him past here. And also, he would fall into the claws of Antoine Olivier, who is lurking just a little bit behind them. Now, let's see if if George does the same thing again that I've described last lap, we'll go on board. The mind of the killer, Hopefully not literally.
Yeah. Another reenactment of France.
Oh, yeah, he's doing the thing again. He's driving wider on the entry, but Sam parks his car really well on the apex, which means that George just can't take the fast line through there. And that is how you lose time, and that is also why the gap to P1 is now 3.4 seconds, and that brings some urgency into the matter. That means that George just absolutely has to get it done right around now. Also, the 47 has spun around. That is Marvin Betch. He has lost it. And by that I don't mean his livery creation. I mean, I mean, what just happened in that corner? I hope there was no contact with anyone. That would be a big shame.
Sam's last lap being only 2/100ths off of his best.
To be fair, track is getting faster, so.
That is true, yeah.
And another death, it's Lawton again. Don't need to be very imaginative to picture what happened there. I have done some running here in practice, just to feel the car and to see what it is like. Oh, is George closer than normally?
Oh,
yes, he has a look on the inside.
He
He has a look on the inside, and this time it's all going to be different. How can Sam defend this?
A little wide.
He still does have the inside line, and he just needs to make sure that George doesn't set him up. And I feel like he might be in big trouble. Let's go on board with George to see this potential overtake happen. Can he run it through without lifting this time? The slipstream is certainly gonna kick into effect right now. He will seek the inside line, but he can't find it. Sam runs wide and completely blocks the track there as he is allowed to. And George has to stare at that Ferrari rear for at least one more lap.
What a fight. Yeah, this is this is not a very good situation for George. He's being held up. And, you know, as soon as he's let loose of Sam, if he will, because Sam's doing an incredible job at keeping him behind, he's going to have to make up 4.3 seconds as of right now. That is in front of Sam between him and Chris Wachowski. And Chris, you know, pulling away from the lead. This is Chris's ideal situation going on right here. And then Antoine, 1.3 seconds behind his teammate Brabner. See, yeah, he's not too far behind. But these top, you know, 5, they got a pretty good gap behind the rest of the pack as well.
Absolutely. Then it is Smelton Ansel. Currently on the stream, we have a look at the Bentleys a little further down the order with Ollie and Jana Salminen. And that would be Salmonen's pathway to P11, from which, you know, he could find some more clear air to further advance into this race as he tries to gain as many positions as possible. Let's go back to the top 3 again, but I doubt that George can make this work on this lap. When will he just finally send it? The way that Sam drives those corners, I don't even know that, like, whether George could theoretically even send it.
Yeah, Sam doing a really good job at keeping him behind with this racing line. Very defensive racing line. Again, slowing his pace down, but at the same time, it is keeping George back.
Yeah, and it is enough to drive the same pace as the guy who's just pitted, Antoine Olive, the first one to blink out of the front runners. I wonder what the purpose of that is. Maybe the greasy and damp track from early in this race has been worse on the tires. Maybe that's why he's pitting, but he's potentially putting himself at risk at being in the group, in the backmarker group. And there's some fighting going on there. Side by side is Smelton, the Lexus, around the outside of Ansel. That has been brewing for quite some time. Can they make it through side by side? Yes, they can. Smelt takes the position. Nicely done. P5 for him. But maybe the counter-attack. Well, it's P4, but...
I don't think so, but I do think Noppin is looking inside as well.
He's overshotting massively! Oh, no, they collide. And we're going to have a look at that. That is this...
I think that was on Noppin, though. He took some grass.
Yeah, we're going to look at the replay. That is the silver class race leader maybe throwing it away by getting into trouble with pro class drivers that shouldn't concern him. He tried to avoid it, but the grass just doesn't slow the car down and goes straight into him.
Grass is slippery as it is, but, you know, grass that used to be, I'm sure, still simulated as wet. Yeah, not good for the brakes. Oh, and we see George Brabner going into the pits right now.
Oh, that is the undercut. He's pulling the trigger very early, and I'm sure that, well, that is threatening, but the new tire model that we've had for, well, I think a few months now, it does work in a way where warming up your tires is crucial. So I think just a one lap overcut from Sam could be enough to keep that position. I do not know though, that's just what I've gathered from talking to some drivers. As driving past there, we see the two Bentleys that are still fighting, Salminen and Stricker.
Yeah, and we see Ben Luce and Jurgen Visser and who else is that? Kruger together fighting for 11, 12, and 13. Or, I'm sorry, 12, 13, and 14.
For sure. Now, where does George come out? And can Salminen get a position out of this fight? He is looking on the outside. It's a different approach to George, and he does get completely blocked on the apex. So no room for the Finn past the Dane. Oh, but that's deep from Ollie, and Janne tries to carry the speed there, but just the Bentley head gets into his way again, so he can't capitalize on that mistake. Overtaking really tough at Misano, but it's possible, and that is what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, oh, it's getting very close. That's exciting. We do see, I think some people have their headlights on and some don't, which I think is, I don't know if they know they have it on, but that's kind of interesting. Unless it's a rendering thing and everybody does.
I actually don't know how it works. I think it's automated for most people. There's no real reason to do it manually.
That's true. The immersion.
The immersion of crashing into a wall, losing your headlights, and then having to pit because your headlights are off. That's great. Endurance moments.
Yeah, Chris Wachowski, 6.5 seconds from Sam Chumley.
Who has not come into the pits?
Sam?
Maybe he's committed to stop this endless fight and just wants to get out of it while losing the least time possible, which is just going deeper into this race and then being faster in the second stint. If George passes him that way, that's fine. He's still on for a good P3 finish. Maybe that is why he doesn't defend this through covering the undercut with an earlier pit stop.
See, and George has clean air in front of him, so that's ideal for him if he wants to achieve the undercut.
Absolutely.
Or utilize it much as he can. Yeah.
Last lap isn't telling yet because it was a pit lap, but after this, I'm certainly gonna try and keep a look on whether he's closing that gap compared to the ones up front. The ones up front are doing mid 34s to 35 flats, and Ruben, after that very unfortunate crash right at the start of the race, is already caught up to the back of Ansel and Smelt and is going to insert himself into that fight for best of the rest.
Very impressive that he's all the way up to P5. That is, yeah, really impressive from him. Same with Salmon and all the way up to P8, starting at the back.
And he's fight. Oh, did he just tap Chavinsky? He did, and Chavinsky goes off by veto, and there goes Ollie, probably regaining that position. No, doesn't fully go for it, but yeah, we're gonna have a look at the replay of that because I want to know what happened. So that is Chavinsky in the Ferrari, and Salminen just a little bit too late on the brake. He's gonna be sent the Aris video, I'm afraid. Oh no. Aris drives How to Follow Another Car. Classic.
George Brabner just set his best of the race, which was about a 134.
Yes, a 34.2, and that is not much faster than Chris, but it is sufficiently faster than Sam, who's now pitting. So it should be a successful undercut.
Yeah, and we see at this point, you know, with Sam going to the pits, it's +1 lap for him and Chris with their gap. Oh, okay. That might have been because he didn't cross the start finish. It's 17 seconds between the two of them. So almost enough for Chris to pit. Well, depending on the pit lane, Chris
It's
to
a
pit
really
and then
long
come
one.
back out.
It is a
Is
really
it?
long pit lane. Yeah, and also in this game they are slow. It's 50 kilometers per hour in the pits, and Misano, the pit lane ends and you just have to still be slow, and it just never ends. It's really annoying, honestly. But you cut the first chicane.
I don't know who thought of that, but
Well, it's probably safer than letting them rejoin right into the the chicane. It's
that is true.
fine.
Yeah.
And now let's see where Sam comes out in relationship to George. There he finally exits the pit lane. Where is George? Is he the car ahead? No. Where's George? What?
George is P18 right now.
Oh yeah, George is well ahead of Sam. You could see it on the minimap. I was getting worried for a second there. He is yeah, they've got Lawton between themselves, and Lawton hasn't pitted yet. So actually George didn't gain much on this undercut, but it was enough to make the jump. And now Witkowski pits.
And Lawton might hold Sam up a bit. So we'll see how that, because he hasn't pit yet. He's still gotta get those fresh tires. He's running on the same tires that he's had on for the last 25 minutes. So but yeah, the thing is we didn't see too much of a difference though when George set his first complete lap time after his fresh tires. So maybe they're having trouble with temperature in getting those tires heated up in this. It's still 25 degrees for the track temperature, even though the track is set to fast. So I wonder if they're having to deal with tire issues as well right now.
Yeah.
Right now we have Jasper Smelt in provisional first place.
Oh, Sam just driving circles around Lawton. What an overtake. That was beautiful. My God, that was so nice. Actually, can't believe he pulled that one off. He was getting a little agitated. He was flashing his lights, but he finds the way past. So nicely done. What I was gonna say, I think you've got a point, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was some tire pressure casualties in this race. Was that Oliver following Sam right past Jacob Lawton, who is gonna run deep into this corner and still contest that space? No, he's off too deep. So yeah, because in this game the tire pressures are very vital, and having your tires in the right range of pressures means that you get a lot more grip. And if you don't manage to do that, well, no, wait. What I was going to say, the temperatures have a lot to do with that. So the drivers will have to react to the current track temps, do their calculations on the fly, select the correct pressures for their pit stops. And that is, if you get that one wrong, then you can be just severely compromised for the rest of your stint. And that might be a reason that Antoine got a really good undercut. Maybe drivers saw the damp track and went for really weird tire pressures. And, getting the new tires means you got the good pressures.
Yeah, I'm definitely not at that level yet where I could just quick fly tire pressures with the changing conditions. That just, yeah, nope, I cannot do that.
Yeah, I remember the first Enduro where we did that was like Silverstone 12 hours was some charity thing, and every time I went onto the hangar straight, Sam would like give me the numbers and like, you have to press left 9 times, please. It was he was very desperate, and I was very overwhelmed, but I think we got there in the end. And Chris has got a solid lead still. This is the Ned race lead, and there's half an hour to go for George to close 6 seconds and to somehow find his way past the Ferrari.
Yeah, the thing is, though, we have a little more than halfway little more than halfway there, and we have Chris and George. Chris is the only car in front of George right now, or Chris is the next car in front of George, and there is a 6-second gap. So George doesn't have a Sam Chumley anymore to hold him up. We'll see if he's able to close that gap between the two of them.
For sure, that'll be the crucial gap to watch until the end of this race to find out who will win this. And the gap in the championship is wide enough open that George could theoretically... Oh, someone's off! Who's that? Is that... wait, I'm trying to see. The 57, who's the 57? Isn't that...
Oh, that's Travinsky.
Yeah, that was my suspicion, and it looks like it is him, yeah. You're right. And he is gone. I think he is disconnected. No, wait. No, he's still racing. Okay, broadcast inclined. Very hard to handle. Well, now he has to let his teammate past. Doesn't have to, but he should.
Oh.
That is his teammate. He's not being lapped, but he hasn't pitted yet.
Oh, okay, that's Antoine. Okay, I thought that was George.
Yeah, I was getting confused earlier as well. I thought Antoine had looped it when he was behind Sam.
So, yeah, Chris and George still about a 6-second gap.
There's a fight going on here for silver class. That is Ben Loos being passed by Jürgen Visser in the Bentley, and right ahead of that.
Oh!
Oh no! Wait, that's Ollie.
Contact.
That's Ollie, not Visser. And yes, that was contact, as you say. Loos going a little deep, but it's fine. Both cars can continue.
Yeah, and Ben's livery is actually pretty cool. Very striking, almost Aston Martin-esque green on his Ferrari.
That's a McLaren, but yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's fine. It's an absolutely amazing car. To be oh, that is embarrassing. What did Ollie do? That is embarrassing. So he just went way too deep. To be honest, it's not that embarrassing. I've done way worse things when I was practicing today. It gave me some of the respect back to all the drivers.
Thank you for changing the subject.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing it back to the Ferrari. So
yeah.
Yeah. We'll just run with it. It's a Ferrari now. Oh, I was about to say something so dumb that, like, I was gonna say it doesn't matter, it's an Italian car anyways, because I thought it was a Lambo for a second. I don't know what's going on. We're actually just losing our brain cells out of here. Yeah.
We don't actually know anything about cars or manufacturers.
Yeah, we've been guessing well until this point. It's been going good. Can't complain. For God's
Looks
sake.
like George is starting to come up to back markers. He's got Moulton in front of him in a very colorful.
The Lamborghini Ferrari McLaren is holding the inside to that big car. I don't know, BMW or something.
I think that's a Ford.
Of course you would say that. Damn Americans out there. Yeah. The green Chevrolet. What? Okay, so what's Ollie doing? Back to reality. We've got a Bentley behind a McLaren. It's a British fight that we somehow turned into into the new installment of Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah, right. Man.
Oh God. So yeah, Ollie after the mistake, of course, has to regain that position. That fight isn't as important for Loos as it is for Ollie because Loos is in silver class, Ollie's in pro class, and I think now he's just gonna be able to make that one stick. He gets brilliant slipstream after a perfect exit out of that corner, and P14 to Ollie.
Very nice late braking as well. Ollie braking late enough, but still smooth enough not to lock his brakes up or go too deep. He was able to comfortably get that overtake done.
Yeah. Janne Salminen successfully completing the last to first by the end of stint 1 challenge. He'll have to pit again, but he's leading the race, so, you know, that's that. What a driver.
Yeah.
22 seconds ahead of, seconds ahead of Chris. Absolute god at work. And I wonder in silver class, by the way, we've got Noppen after that gigantic bottle that we've watched, where he did drive into Smelt. He's still leading silver, but he's only got a 3-second gap ahead of last to first hero Yuri and Visser in the other Bentley. So those two will likely fight it out for silver class. Kessel probably the only one who could still interfere with that fight as soon as he comes out of the pit stop. So we'll keep an eye on that as well.
It's always interesting to see the little animated Marshall waving his blue flag.
Or the green flag when there's a car flipping right in front of his face, you know?
Yeah.
The brilliant clip for everyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Antoine got done dirty by race control. Oh, Kessel! You bottle job! Oh, he's not disconnected yet. But yeah, that is so tragic. He has come out of the pits. He is leading silver class. He's got to drive through.
That is gonna be, yeah. That's gotta hurt.
And
was that speeding the pit lane?
Nah, that's cutting the track 4 times. So, yeah, I was about to actually talk about drive-thrus. We haven't really seen any in basically the entire season or last season, but it is easy to get some at Misano. Just the runoff, mostly tarmac and big curbs, so there is not much time loss, so you get warnings instead, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this track, it's crazy what these drivers can get away with when it comes to track limits. But yeah, we do see Ben Kessel getting possibly a little too greedy on the edges of the track and getting that drive-through. That does suck.
I remember actually watching a race in Misano from the GT World Challenge where John Watson, the commentator, was just calling it ridiculous and bad racing, what he saw from the drivers, because in real life, after the second kink on the back straight, they just completely extended. Like, they just drive like a long arching bow or something, instead of driving the track. It was ridiculous. And he was complaining like crazy about that. He can't do that in the game, you know. The game being more strict on track limits than real life, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be the first time to anyone who's seen the Spa 24 hours. The alternative layout that has been driven there.
Yeah, it feels like each series has their own rules on where you can and can't overtake.
Yep. I mean, I would love it if it was literally just white line and Eurocross. Like, that would be so good. But every game and every real-life racing series just does it entirely different.
Yeah. And even within some of the same series, their marshalling isn't super consistent.
Oh god. Yeah. It actually makes me very mad. It's really annoying.
It does.
That you can... Also the rule, like, gaining an advantage isn't allowed, but crossing the line is. That's really annoying.
Very strange.
I don't quite understand.
We're starting to see a fight with, Niles Kruger, Veldman, and
who
is this?
Ben Loos.
Yeah,
yep. It's the Ferrari. Like, oh no, Veld! Oh man, I thought he was gonna hit the Lexus there, but yeah, Kruger got that one done, and is now second in that little train. So Illigner somehow recovered to P15, starting half a lap down. Even though I know he's fast, he doesn't belong in P23. But still, making up half a lap is quite impressive. Now Veld has a little bit of a look to the inside in his race taxi. He's gonna go deep, I reckon. And I think that Kruger's gonna be able to make the cutback work now through 7. That is Kruger ahead. Oh, well off track, so actually he's gonna lose that position because he ran way wider than he needed to. Veldman covering the inside into 8. I think he's gonna get away with that and gets the position back after losing it just seconds earlier.
That's some great fighting from all three of them, and just
Oh, is that a
give and
lunge?
take it. We see.
Oh, some great fighting! Massive jinx on that end.
Yeah, and it looks like Kruger actually bumped him a second time, possibly intentionally, to try and get him. Yeah, and he's flashed his lights. He's trying to say sorry. Bumping him back to straighten him out a bit.
Yeah, this is the replay. And yeah, that's never working. That only works if you scare the other guy out of driving the corner, which he didn't, so yeah, red belt. But yeah.
Yeah.
He's being a sportsman about it.
Even when they make contact and, you know, spin like that.
Wait, who's that off? Someone off?
That is Veldman. Veldman going off, losing that position again, but you never know. He's coming back right now again.
What's another
try and
round?
get that position back.
Another shot around the outside, but no way. He makes his way up the order there. And Illigna, only 2.8 seconds behind all of that, so he might actually get to have some fun very soon.
Yeah.
Also, we have... No, we have... Wait, what? Salmon is 5th? Huh? How?
That is crazy.
I was gonna say he's retired because I didn't see him, but it just didn't look higher than P7. But he's actually 5th.
I mean, we have Salmonen 5th, Venda Hutting 6th. People, the comebacks that we have at this race is crazy.
Yeah, good job. Very good driving from them.
Yes.
And Chum Chum and Olive are now having a little bit of a dispute. That has got away heavy on the good relations between the UK and France.
Oh,
and
Ollie Stricker has a drive-through penalty.
Ooh.
Youch.
Well, there go 40 seconds, roughly. No, 30, I guess. It is quite terrible to get a drive-through. It costs so much time, it's incredible. And, yeah, he pits right away, so Zawon...
Oh, Antoine Olive looking on the outside of Sam Chumley, wasn't able to make it done. He's going to try, possibly not here, but he's staying right behind him, glued to the back of Chumley's Ferrari.
I like how you stress that. Is there something you want to tell us? So, I mean, he's been in this situation before, but it was the #1 driver at the Bentley team, the Bentley de la Mora team, I think it is called, and now it is the #2 driver. No offense to Antoine. So, I don't know if how worried Sam feels about that, but it seems like he is quite a bit slower in the second stint than he is in the first one comparatively to the others.
Yeah, and you know, P1 through P4 we have a Bentley chasing down a Ferrari, and then a Bentley chasing down a Ferrari, and then all 4 of them, there's a Bentley chasing them down.
Yep.
So lots of Bentleys and Ferraris.
Yeah, we're practicing our car brands here.
Yeah.
We're making sure. What's the car in P12? No. It is Veld, for context, who is 1.5 seconds ahead of Niels Krüger now, who himself has to defend with Illigna. They had quite different races. They started basically, I think they started on the same row of the grid, and now they meet again after Illigna was half a lap down at the race start, and Krüger has had some fighting going on there, and Illigna wants to win the fight of the Germans and put himself into 13th. Krüger under massive pressure.
The fight of the Germans.
Yep. Yep. Antoine not getting past once again. I think we're gonna have a look at that every lap now.
We see Ansel right behind Van Hutting as well. I wonder if anything's gonna come of that. Because Ruben does have an 8-second gap between him and Salmonen. Yeah, and we are seeing Ansel. It's not giving him any breathing space. It's almost actually a tiny bit of contact, just a little bump in the rear, just to remind him that he's there.
Yeah, he's really showing himself. And oh, the curbs, they are unforgiving there. They just somehow pull you off the track. It's like they tap you on the shoulder and remind you that you have to go somewhere, and then you go somewhere. You know? It's off track.
Yeah.
And the fights are just brewing for so long on this track, because overtaking is hard work, but it's very rewarding. And Illigner did get rewarded. He managed to make his way past Niels Krüger. Now Wildman is the next one.
And we've seen this track is not super. It's very good for defending. I think it's not that it's hard to overtake. I think it's that it's ideal for defending. And if you place your car in the right spot, you can defend for several laps, like we saw Sam Chumley. If it wasn't for Brabner coming in for that pit stop, that undercut, they could still possibly be fighting right now. So, you know.
Yep. Instead of Sam holding back an M Sport Bentley, we would see Sam holding back an M Sport Bentley right now. Yep.
Yep. I think he's getting a little bit of deja vu.
Yeah, but the race leads in both classes. We've got Chris, who's just basically doing the exact same lap times as George, and I just looked at the last laps. I'm actually not overstating this at all. Last lap from Chris, 134.335. Last time from George, 134.338. So 3 thousandths difference. And that gap isn't moving, and it's certainly not going to come down in the next 15 minutes without some major divine intervention or a spin.
Yeah, divine intervention. That would be something to watch.
Yeah, it's racing words for back markers.
Back markers or a dying wheelbase.
Oh, there goes Veld, and he gets the position on Lowe's. Nicely done. Lunges down the inside of the... Why is it called AMR McLaren? It's not an Aston Martin. Even he's confused what he's driving. What? Okay, I mean, now I can't blame you as much, because even he doesn't know what car he's in.
I told you it looked like an Aston.
No, you told me it looks like a Ferrari.
Well, you see, the livery is reminiscent of...
He's say that, yeah.
He's a McLaren that looks like an Aston that I mistook for a Ferrari.
And I mistook for a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay.
It got an identity crisis.
It's been life crisis, yeah. Oh no. Well... It is very individual for sure.
We have Philip Ansel almost getting pulled off track by the rumble strips, but he's back on. Oh, we see a little spin.
Ukrainian Lambo.
Yep, there it goes.
Andrew Moulton.
But yeah, Ansel looking up to Ruben van der Hutting. And still just kind of just being there. I think Ruben is a very competent driver, and I think he will be able to defend him for quite a while. He's not one to make silly mistakes, I don't believe. But yeah, they've consistently been less than a second gap between the two of them.
Yep. I want to change what I said earlier. The divine intervention is actually not back markers, it's commentator's curse. And I certainly tried with Witkowski, and now you try with Ruben. Let's see if the Tricon drivers can withstand the pressure. Right now it looks like Witkowski might have eased off a little bit. He's lost 6 tenths on the last lap, which is either him chilling or divine intervention from me saying that gap won't come down. I don't know which one. Both equally realistic.
Yep. And as I said before, Ruben is a very competent driver.
For God's sake.
Just trying to get some action in here, you know?
You just want
Although
to see
we
the
haven't
ball
really...
burn.
Yeah. It's not like we've been starved of action, though. We have quite a lot of action, and we see Andrew Moulton coming into the pits.
Oh, the Ferrari, Aston Martin, McLaren, Lambo has been overtaken by an actual Audi. As Iligna goes past there. I'm technically the team boss of Iligna. I should really just enforce my role as a team boss and tell him that livery looks terrible. I know he's gonna watch that. That looks absolutely atrocious. Can you please change it? I don't want to look at that anymore. It's I don't know. I'm afraid. I mean, it's not the worst livery a German driver has used today, right? Wait, where is he? Where's Betch? Here he is. But still. Actually, I probably prefer this. I prefer the Audi. The lap. Oh my god.
Yeah, no. Betch is.
Not a good day.
He's got a very colorful livery.
Yeah,
very colorful.
He's.
I think.
Got it from a candy shop. That's.
I think he just learned about the primary colors.
That car just straight up gives you diabetes. There's no two ways about it. It just, looking at it, I'm dying of a sugar shock, you know? But,
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Man, that, it could actually be a really good livery, but that pink engine cover just completely kills it.
Just add a bit of spice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. Okay.
The bubblegum car.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and he's getting the move done maybe on Krüger here, as in another episode.
As we're talking crap.
Yeah. In another episode of the Battle of the Germans, we have Krüger and Betch fighting it out over P14.
We have the bubblegum car. We have Veldman's highlighter car.
True.
We have the Ukrainian Lambo.
Two of them even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Renault and Moulton. Oh wait, they run reverse cars, no? Yeah, one's got a balloon roof and yeah, they reversed it.
Yeah.
That's very creative.
And yeah, unless you know, there's a will from God for.
Oh, you're doing it again.
George, well, I am being sincere though. I mean, it's a 6.6 second gap. We only have 10 minutes left. Realistically, you know, this is gonna be a good win for Chris.
Sure. What could happen? I have no idea. Anyways, we've got a three-man fight for the last podium spot now. I thought it was just going to come down to Chumley and Olive, but Jannis Salmonen, flexing his muscles, has come from P23 on the grid, has extended his first stint like crazy, and is now, as a result of that, on much fresher tires and is putting on the heat on Antoine Olive, who now really needs to escape past Samuel Chumley, who might just fall prey to the driving finish flag by Jannis Salmonen.
If Salmonen gets the podium, I mean, anything is possible in this world. Coming from not that okay, that sounded like Salmonen's not a good driver. He is an incredible driver, but saying that getting a podium from the complete back of the grid is just insane. And it's not luck either. It's just pure skill from him. Being able to come all the way up. And it looks like Antoine was a little slow there.
Yeah.
I thought Salmonen was gonna consider. And you know what? Chumley is starting to pull away. I think as Salmonen right behind Antoine Olive.
Yeah, he
looks like. It looks like he thought better of it.
Yeah, he wants to be the lead Bentley fighting this. It's a very different situation to the F1 game. In the F1 game, you always kind of want to be the second in the queue, because there you get the DRS and you basically always have the power to decide when you want to overtake the guy ahead. Here, it is not like that. You just bash your head against a brick wall for 30 laps straight and it's an exciting fight.
Yeah. We see Van Hutting and Ansel had a little bit of a scrap. but
Yeah.
they're still okay
Happens.
and good to fight another day.
It happens a little bit further down the order. They've also got Smelt who's involved in that fight. Now let's see, how does Salmon approach trying to overtake a fellow Bentley, as Sam might be able to slip away in the confusion while the Bentleys cannibalize themselves for P4. And I don't think Jan has got a path past on this straight, barring an absolute send. I think he actually might be in trouble. I mean, he did have an incident with Chavinsky, so he actually might have a penalty coming once again. So that could be time penalty. Even more important for him to just get away, get the positions and run.
Yep.
Oh wait, is that a fight going on? Yeah, that is Ansel holding the inside line on Smelt. I think he's certainly lost that position. I don't know if he was also behind Rue, but oh no! Almost spins there, but just about holds on. Fighting in the midfield. Exciting as always. Also, we've got Veldman and Illigner battling.
It's almost side by side, but it looks like Veldman able to come over on top.
Illigner has been closing that gap steadily. He's certainly faster right now, but he needs to make the overtake, and that is going to be the critical part. We've seen the display of George versus Sam, or Antoine versus Sam, that is very difficult, and Dominic only has 5 minutes and a bit to go.
We see a little bit further down Ketzel and Jajura. Also, with Ollie Stricker. Ollie Stricker, I thought he was going to be able to capitalize on a little whoopsie that looks like Kessel had. Oh! I keep thinking, someone dives down, but then they kind of lean back. This track, it's the track of the almosts.
Yeah.
Because they almost get it done, but then they back out right at the last second because the line just kind of.
Oh, what's gonna happen here? It looks like a dive to the inside from Ollie Stricker as he pulls out. So no move on Kessel there. Let's have a look at the front again to make sure we don't miss anything. Ansel is just about ahead of Noppen, and Ansel! Drive through for him. That's basically
right at the end of the race.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking. He's gonna lose so much time to that. But in silver class, what I didn't say, I wanted to though, is that Noppen is leading that after his incident still, but with what an... Oh my god, Janne, what did you just do? Holy crap. He just broke his spine, I'm afraid. It was... I don't know if you saw it, but he did the thing that happened to, I think, Engelhardt in real life, where he went over the sausage cup in his car.
Oh!
What?
No, I saw it. I just saw it.
Yeah.
Youch.
Yep, that's gotta hurt. And I mean, that happened to a real life driver, and I think he actually didn't break his spine, but he was injured in some capacity.
Wow.
From that. It does hurt. Luckily, we're just in the sim. And I wouldn't want another Janne Salmon in physical recovery that takes 2 seasons and takes him away from us again. We've had that in the past. It wasn't great. And no sim racing injuries.
Depending on the strength of your wheelbase,
Yeah.
That is fully possible.
Yep. The sim racing injury is fighting against the steering wheel suddenly gives way and you accidentally punch yourself. That's happened to me many times. It does look very dumb when it happens, and it hurts. So
yeah. Or having the steering wheel spin around and get you right on the wrist.
Yep. Or my personal favorite, I've got a PlayStation Challenge, so a glorified camping chair, and I have to lean forward so much to look at my screen, so I rest my chin on my steering wheel, and then someone hits me and I get a whack on the chin. That has happened a lot. That's also sim racing injury, a very dumb one at that. is Salmonen.
Wow.
So close. He's running out of time. He kind of needs to make this happen right now. Antoine, I think P3 is just an afterthought now. You know, you can't really concern yourself with that, as he's got a raging Bentley in his mirror that really wants to get past, and it's got, well, the mainstreamed 2 more times to make it happen.
Yeah, and we have optimum track right now with the sun starting to come out too. Brabner finally closing the gap at 4 seconds instead of 6.5. I mean, you know, 2 laps.
Maybe the traffic is playing a part. It looks like it on the minimap, like there's something going on there. Chris having to deal with some lappers. Yeah, that's the fight with Ollie, who just got a drive-through. Isn't that his second one?
Yes.
Oh. My god, not even WoW has a penalty. How do you have two?
Oh, someone's off.
Who?
That is Jajura.
Oh no! But
wow, he hit the wall too, I believe.
But he's still ahead of Ollie. Oh wait, he wasn't.
Yeah,
He wasn't
well,
close to Ollie.
After this drive-through, I don't think anybody's gonna be behind Ollie.
True. Facts.
Unfortunately.
Well, probably Lawton, but that's about it, because Lawton is lapped. And so let's see. No, that's Melt. I want to watch Salmon then. And Sam looks like he's gonna hold on. Chris also looks like he's just about gonna hold on. Where on track are they? Is this actually last lap? No, it's not. We're getting one more, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. One more lap. Few back markers in between our leader and P2 on track right now. And final corner of the penultimate lap. 1 lap to go for Chris Witkowski to win this race. Can he pull it off to pull himself back into this championship fight? He has won in Paul Ricard, so the last 1 hour race was his, but he did miss out in both Monza races, 2nd and 3rd respectively, and he wasn't anywhere close to the podium in the first 3 rounds, and that means he has some work to do, and it looks like he has done that today, barring a catastrophe. Tempting fate.
Yeah, there still is 1 back marker behind between P1 and P2. So, Witkowski with the McLaren in front of him that looks like an Aston Martin that is also named like an Aston Martin that I mistook for Ferrari and you mistook for a Lamborghini is now behind him.
I like how it's just a memorist speech at this point. Salmon, is he getting desperate? No. He has done unspeakable things to Oliver in the past. I'm sure he would feel terrible if he did it again. So I guess hopefully he's going to be nicer. Unless, there's a long straight. Maybe he didn't overtake him here so he can still do pit maneuver later. I don't know. But for a pit maneuver you have to get alongside, and I don't think he's able to do that right now.
We see Chris Witkowski finishing up the final lap.
And
coming around the final corner.
Exactly. He's going to be a 2-time race winner this season. And flashes his lights as he takes the victory. He was falling off at the end of the race, but that was when it didn't really matter anymore. Takes the victory ahead of George Brabner, who got overtaken at the start. And basically from there, misery took its turn, and he's only 2nd, which is still fine for the championship. It's an 8-point gap there as Sam saves himself across the line, and behind that there's a photo finish between Salmon and Olive, and Chamley gets 3rd. That's the last podium position. Then Olive, and 0.1 second behind it, Diana Salmon, and from last on the grid, P23. Then Jasper Smelt ahead of Ruben van den Herding, who got killed at the start. They are 6th and 7th. And then Ryan Noppen will win Silver Class, I think for the first time, but I'm not sure. And that is a very commendable performance as well. Then Illigner and Veldman. Illigner from half a lap back, somehow still 9th. Well done to him. And Veldman saves himself across in the top 10.
We did have a few DNFs though, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
I think we started with 23, 24?
25, I think it was. Well, I just know we lost Chavinsky. Rest I kind of forgot, honestly. Also, what happened to Ansel? He's finishing in 12th. He was 4th on the grid. He just dropped so much towards the end. He must have had a big mistake or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That wraps up Misano. I'm just gonna have a look in the chat to get some immediate reactions. Oh, the next race session is also raining, which of course doesn't matter, but still. Ay ay ay. I was just looking at some of the clips there. Batch had a funny on who was that? Jonel Buzila. But I don't have display capture set up right now, so I can't really put it on stream, unfortunately. But yeah, I think.
Yeah, with this was a good result for Salmonen as well, especially because the last 2 races he wasn't even able to compete. Was it last 2 races or just last one?
Well, the last doubleheader. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
that's right.
1 weekend, 2 races. And I'm instantly getting sent the image of the original of that badge livery. He seems very proud of it.
Livery.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it like that. He managed to capture the beauty of the original. Unfortunately, it's a Renault, so I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh man, I wonder why he chose that livery. Probably just because it's so stunning looking.
Yeah, it's really stunning. As in, I look at it and I have nothing to say. It's but yeah. Anyways, I think that just about wraps it up. There was some really good fights going on there. Brilliant defending work from Sam, getting a deserved podium. Chris Witkowski manages a convincing win, and George Brabner just about losing out in the first stint. Then that cost him a shot at the victory. And with that, I think that's the end of the broadcast. Next week we go to Laguna Seca. I don't think you do because you don't have the DLC, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe just go to the track. I don't know. I think it's
yeah.
At least the same country. Chris, I know why Chris. Oh no. I guess I know why Chris slowed down. He says 53 minutes, 0 warnings, 2 next laps, 3 warnings. That is a thing. If I get warnings, then like if I'm on 3 warnings, I just slow down so much. And I guess he dropped half a second towards the end. Nice.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. That is funny.
Well, anyways, thanks for watching. Goodbye.